Hi folks, Joblock Comics here. Happy Halloween. I thought for such a special day we would take a look at my top 10 kind of spooky Halloween type covers. It's just a random selection of books that I've pulled out of my PC that I thought might appeal to you if you're in a kind of Halloween mood. These are in no order. I'm not ranking them. I'll leave that to Comic Samurai to do. But if you want to have a wee look at these, here's some spooky books. This one you'll have seen before because I recently just did a whole look through on it, and it's that classic Ghost Manor issue number 23 with an artwork by Tom Sutton. It is for me probably the greatest Charlton horror comic cover ever made. I think it's just glorious. It's worthy of being in the night gallery with Rod Serling. That teddy bear is really deserves its own franchise, and the skeletal old guy with the cobwebs, I don't know if it gets much better than that really. As far as Charlton goes, they did some fabulous cover artwork. They're so underrated. If you ever see them, pick them up and grab them. This one here particularly seems to do well. I don't know if it's kind of rare or maybe a low print one, but anyway, that's my number one pick there. Something more conventional for my second one. Fantastic Four, number 185, yeah. And this, of course, has got Agatha Harkness in it, yeah. She's on the cover there with Little Franklin. And we see the Fantastic Four in a situation you don't often see them in, where they're kind of up against sort of supernatural type creatures. So you can see the gargoyles have come to life in this one here, and the Fantastic Four are having a hard time. And of course, the title here, they are Bewitches. So I felt it was quite suitable for a Halloween cover. Franklin just seems to be waving at them. I don't think he's that bothered, to tell you the truth, yeah. And Agatha's got him, so that'll all be fine. So that's number 2 in my comics list. I hope that's in focus for you. Here we go, third one. Here's one that you might not have seen coming. It's Justice League of America, and it's issue number 103, and it is the stroke of midnight, and I have come for you. And there's a grave there, and it's got the names of the Justice League on it, and they're all staring at this empty grave now. I'm pretty sure that's Phantom Stranger up there, so it's quite unusual, but this was a period in time where the Justice League were kind of sort of mixing up their stories. They were getting away from sci-fi, and they were doing a lot of these kind of spooky things, yeah. I love these Bronze Age Justice Leagues. You get the roll call down the side here, and then that's definitely a Nick Cardy cover, I would assume. If it isn't, let me know. But there's the Phantom Stranger there, and he's came for them. There's the grave. I know Batman saying, "What the So, that's quite cool. Anyway, that's number 3. Here's number 4 in my one. It's a beaten up copy of Journey into Mystery, number 2. Now, this was another Marvel foray into the horror genre, where they were reprinting a lot of stuff, but they were also doing some new stuff in this. And this issue in particular, noteworthy, yeah, because it's written by this first story, and it's written by Robert Bloch, the author of Psycho. And Robert Bloch was a prolific writer of short horror fiction. He wrote for Weird Mystery Magazine and all these kind of stuff. He did the book of Psycho that Hitchcock made into the film. And this here is a Jack the Ripper story. That's a Gil Kane cover. It's absolutely phenomenal. You've got the Ripper here. You've got a maiden in distress. You've got all these goofballs just falling about because they don't know what's going on. What's going on here, yeah? And it's just a great cover. Journey into Mystery, I just love it. 70s, although most of the stories are reprints. This was a new one that they had commissioned, yeah? So it's a cracker. If you see it anyway, you got to pick it up. There we go, number 5 here. Of course, I was going to do some more Charlton because, I like my Charlton stuff. And this is The Many Ghosts of Dr. Grave. And this is another fantastic painted cover. It's a wild wolf. And this poor dude here, I don't know what's going on with him there. Look, this werewolf here is just like going nuts, and he's kind of, I don't know where he is. Is he in a dungeon? It looks like a dungeon because there's kind of bars and stuff there. There's Dr. Graves up there, yeah. Not to be confused with Baron Werewolf. I used to get the two of them mixed up. But this is Ghosts of Dr. Grave, not Baron Werewolf's Haunted Library. And that's a great werewolf. Is this Tom Sutton? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I could be wrong though. If you know, let me know. It's a great Halloween cover. I just love it. Whenever I see these Charlton books, I just grab them. They're just so good to have. And look at this big fella. Good Lord. Okay, here's a bit of a classic. A couple of Batman ones in this, because Batman lends himself well to spooky spooky comics. This is 227, yeah? It's Neil Adams cover, and it's that issue where he homages Detective Comics 31, probably one of the greatest Batman covers ever depicted. And this was Neil Adams who decided he was going to do his version of it. It was in a time before homage covers were even a thing, leading me to wonder if Neil Adams invented the homage cover. Because this is, I've got a Detective 31 somewhere, and I'll need to I'll see if I can dig it out and show you it some other time. But here's the Neil Adams one, yeah? It's the 70s, it's issue 227, The Demon of Gothos Mansion. It is absolutely stunning. I love this book, yeah? And inside, and I'll get to the credits. There we go. Look at that now. You can't tell me that that isn't one of the most gothic splash pages that you've ever seen. And it's Denny O'Neil that did the story, obviously, and Irv Novick and Dick Giordano doing the interior art. But even that there, I mean, see if that was the cover, I'd have been happy with that as well. It is absolutely phenomenal. And the whole comic goes down this gothic path. I mean, it's absolutely tremendous. It's terrifying stuff. And it's full-blown horror. Look. We get sacrifices, pitchforks, we've got demons, we've got Batman. I mean, it's just fantastic. If you ever see this book, you gotta grab it. The cheaper the better. I got another Detective Comics here because, you know, it's Batman, and, you know, I love his stuff. This is issue 425. Now, this is unusual because it's an absolutely horrific horror cover. Look at that horse. What's the horse on? He ain't on no tranquilizer. And that guy there in the carriage, and the stage is set for murder, and you've got Batman there. And what made this appeal to me for my top 10? I'll tell you. Bernie Wrightson did it, who's much more sort of involved in horror comics and stuff, yeah? And here he is doing an absolutely stunning job on Detective Comics. Now, the problem here is that they were doing these sort of border covers, so I would have really liked to have seen that as the whole image without this stuff here, yeah? Because there's a new series in here, The Master Crime File of Jason Bard. I don't know who Jason Bard is, yeah? And it's the opening shut case, and the only opening shut case here is that it didn't do very well, but check that out. You gotta love it. So anyway, that's number 7, I think. Anyway, here's another classic for you guys to enjoy. It's Daredevil, issue 158, and it's, of course, Daredevil's spookiest villain. He's jumping there, he's in a graveyard. Poor Daredevil's in an open grave, just like the Justice League were earlier. It says, "Rest in peace, Daredevil." I mean, how rude. And then his Deathstalker's here. Look at him. What's this guy doing? And Daredevil, I don't know why, you know, he's just standing there. He's got to look up. At least he's got his billy club ready for action. What makes this special? Well, the cover's just phenomenal. It's spooky and it's in a graveyard and it's horrible, but it's also Frank Miller's first artwork on the title. I do believe it is Frank Miller's debut. So that's a nice one for you. If you ever do see this, you should pick it up. It is this whole run. I mean, at the time, Roger McKenzie was still writing it. There you go. And there's lanky Frank Miller. Yep, is there as the newcomer. Can you see that? There's Natasha and Foggy. That's Foggy before he died in the TV show. And Frank Miller has his name all over this. I mean, look at this stuff. Look at these goofballs. What the? It's like a cat and a monkey. They're really old Daredevil villains they brought back for this, yeah. Look at this creep. What the? I bid you welcome, Matthew Murdoch. Look, he's on tied to a grave. He's in there. He's got these furries going mental. He's got a grave there with Matt Murdock on it. And oh yeah, what an issue. Phenomenal. Here we go, another DC title. Now, yeah, you wouldn't expect this one, because when did Superman ever be creepy? You never ever seen creepy Superman covers. He was much more sci-fi and atomic based. So, however, you get to issue number 406, and you get this. Oh my goodness, it's the ghost that haunted Clark Kent. I can't believe it. There he is, Clark Kent. That's the ghost of Superman. And Clark says, it's impossible, ghosts don't exist, and I'm Superman. And he's like quite firm in his assumption that ghosts don't exist. I don't know if he's thought that through, but look at that cover. It's just phenomenal, isn't it? There's also an Atom and Flash team up in this book, and this book has 48 pages in it. How can you go wrong? And as far as Halloween covers go, Castle, it looks like it might be with the Tower of London, yeah? And the Superman who's headless, he's carrying his head under his arm, and Clark Kent's there as well. The whole thing's a complete and utter puzzle within a mystery. I mean, it's just tremendous. And oh, who did the art on this? Of course, it'll be Kurt Swan or maybe one of those guys. But you can see that you can kind of see through Superman. You can see, yeah, you can see that he's transparent, and he's a ghost. He's his head under his arm. Classic, I love it. Anyway, here is my favourite Halloween cover coming up for you, and of course there's another Batman. Right, quick, have a think. What's it going to be? Spooky Batman comic. It's not detective, it's Batman. Any ideas? No? If I show you the top, it's got a bit of a kink in it, which is a shame because I love this comic. But oh my lord, a haunting Halloween novel, Night of the Reaper. Be careful how you say that. Look at that. Neil Adams, one of his finest Batman covers ever. There's Batman swinging in. You've got the Reaper there with a scythe. He's mowing down Robin, who's, I don't know, he's tripped up or fallen over his cape, or he's done something, yeah. It's absolutely phenomenal. This is one of the greatest Batman issues of all time. Issue number 237. If you get a chance to grab this, please do. And you know what's even better? There we go. You've got art by Neil Adams and Dick Giordano. And the story's by Danny O'Neill from an idea by Bernie Wrightson. With an assist from Harlan Ellison. Can you imagine what kind of a roster is that for a comic? Neil Adams, Dick Giordano, Danny O'Neill, Harlan Ellison. Night of the Reaper. It is one of the greatest Batman stories ever put to paper. The artwork is phenomenal. I mean, look at this, guys. Look at this opening page here. Having a Halloween float. Yeah. And look at these people now. Who's that? Come on. Who's that pair? Who's that? This is a DC book. Who dat? Wow. Got a fat Superman there, a skinny Aquaman. Isn't that phenomenal? And when you talk about Marvel DC crossovers, do you ever hear this one getting mentioned? It is absolutely stunning. And that's just the start. I mean, what a way to kick a book off, yeah. But look at this phenomenal artwork. The whole thing is just incredible, and it kind of culminates with this. Look at that. It's almost a cover swipe from the cover, but look at that thing there. And do you know, Denny O'Neill said, do you know, this page needs no words. It needs no words. Just show that thing. Show Robin in some kind of weird state of terror. And let's have a look at that. Isn't it amazing? I tell you, they don't make books like this anymore. Meanwhile, back at Halloween Party, who's this goofball? Look at that. It's a DC book. Who dat? How did they get away with this? I've never seen anything like it in my life. And you know, I don't know, nobody batted an eyelid. They just didn't care. I think they've done it once or twice before. In comics, yeah? But anyway. What the? They're just hanging out. They're just hanging out. There's a big reveal at the end. I ain't going to spoil it. It's quite a powerful story, though, I'll have you know. Anyway, Batman, he's got Robin with him. It's issue number 237, which is my top Halloween cover of the year. Listen, I hope you enjoyed looking at them. I certainly had a ball picking them out and finding them for you. If you did enjoy it, you know, you could do me a solid and just subscribe to the channel. You know, and if you've already subscribed, thank you very much indeed. Have a happy Halloween. Press the subscribe button. Don't let this guy in your house tonight. See you in the next one.